Good morning, everybody. How are you? I see some people in here we haven't seen in a while. Welcome. Get in here, you old strangers. What am I do with you? Let me tell you what. First of all, I'm going to say this about all of you. I know the riffraff that goes on the YouTube streets, but the fact that you are here for little Miya Tucker Rudd means the world to me. This little baby never stood a chance. Do you know how bad this case is? Well, you're going to hear about it. Get your tissues ready. We say often in cases, failed by everyone. This is literally reminds me so much of Harmony Montgomery. I will tell you the truth. When they found her in all that debris, paraphernalia, just nasty stuff all over. I mean, the agents that were there said it was a health hazard to be in the house. They had it down to a gnat's ass. They said a 1 mile radius. Well, they got it figured out. It's rough, but it really does. It touches my heart that, you guys are here for cases that, people don't really talk about. Well, you guys are just the absolute best. Let's take a second and tell everybody, Happy Taco Tuesday. You know it. Well, I announced on the community tab the other day that little baby Miya's body had been found. You guys had a lot to say. But first, let's do some chit chat. I said it's Taco Tuesday. I think I'm going to have to make some chicken street tacos. Reason being, OJ loves chicken. He absolutely loves chicken. And he's been getting real pissed because we've been eating so much beef around here. We go to this place called Loop Square. It's on an Indian reservation, not too far from us. And we get amazing beef. I'm talking, this is like they just wiped its ass and put it on the plate. Man, it's good. So that's where we get our meat. But OJ does not like to eat beef. I don't know if OJ just turned Hindu or what. It's something different all the time. So I think for Taco Tuesday today, I will be making chicken. All right, so before I get to the comments, I want you guys to vote. Do you want to be sad first or mad first? Because you're going to have a little bit of both. Look at that Nene Nut you get in here. My goodness. Okay, Just Me has voted. She said she wants to be mad first. Mermaid said she wants to be mad first. Walking Dead, she wants to be mad first. Jules, Rockin' Robin, she said, I am both now. Little bitty baby. Little bitty baby, according to Shay McAllister, who, by the way, is a great journalist in the state of Kentucky. I love the work she has done on the Bardstown case. She does great work. And people have been sending her other pictures of older babies, and she will try to verify it, kind of like Nick Barris does in Tennessee, or like Lori Fulbright does here in Tulsa. And the picture we have seen of little Miya, that's all they got. That's all they got. Now they keep saying 8 months old, 8 months old, 8 months old. I don't know. After last show, talked to Jules, and Jules goes, you know what? I don't think she lived much longer than getting out of the hospital because there's no other picture. And then there's her scumbag parents, Tesla and Cole, all hopped up at the Super 8 in Owensboro, Kentucky. Oh, we haven't seen her since the end of April. Really? Did she borrow the keys to your car and go see another baby friend? Where is she? And this cast of characters pisses me off to no end. Tesla Tucker, the so-called mama. She's there in the bottom left corner. That thing right there in the middle, bottom row, that's the daddy, Cole. And they have several children together. Then you have Ricky Smith, age 56, the grandpa. He's in trouble for a lot of stuff. Child abuse, drugs, trafficking, organized crime. Then above him, we got another Billy. Billy, she's still in jail. Then there's her friend Timothy Roach. He got in trouble out in the driveway because, well, he's an idiot. When the police rolled up, he decided to throw out some Suboxone that wasn't for him. All right, on top of that, you know what? I'll get to that in a second. I will get to that in a second. Let's get to your comments. This is from the community post I put up the other day about Miya's remains being found. The real Rockin' Robin said, breaks my heart into pieces. Death penalty for all involved. Miya means palace/shrine. I didn't know that, but it's a beautiful name. A beautiful name for such a beautiful baby. Miya is now in the palace she deserves. Heaven wrapped in the arms of our Lord. It just hurts your soul Miya was not loved and cared for in her short life here. Babies and children are a gift from God. I wished they were treated and thought of in that way. Rest in peace, beautiful Miya. Whew, that comment really hurt my heart. Just Me 6767 said, this sweet angel, how can people be so cruel to children? Now, there's no charges yet. The question is this going to be severe neglect? Like they brought her home from the hospital and just didn't feed her, which is horrible? Or is the state of Kentucky going to go straight murder one? Psychosocial said, wow. Just fucking wow. Pamela Smith said, oh no, I was hoping she was found alive. God help us all. I really thought that she was probably handed off to somebody. I really held out hope. And then, well, the news came. Amanda B. Loves Sweet Tea says, I'm so curious at what point. Hang on. I am so curious at what point they put her where she was found. This is blowing my mind. And what happened? I am sick. Well, hold on, Amanda B., because you're going to hear it. You are going to hear it. And it is not good. It's not good. Actually, the vote was you want to be mad before sad, right? Okay. We're going to do mad first. This is Miya's other set of grandparents. This would be Tesla's mom, who was also arrested last week on an old warrant, and mom's boo thing. Listen to this, and then I'm going to explain why you're going to be so mad.
Stories, a new twist in the case of a missing 8-month-old baby. This morning, 2 more people are under arrest, including the baby's maternal grandparents. Little Miya was first reported missing last Thursday.
But investigators believe she was last seen in April. Let's get you caught up on today's developments. The grandparents, Talitha and David Tucker, have been arrested following a search warrant at their home on Leachfield Road.
There's Miya's grandpa. Are you kidding me? So they arrested him. It seems to me that KSP was just arresting everybody to get somebody to talk. Of course, you have to have probable cause. Old warrants, went to the house, drugs. Now, this dude and Talitha have custody of Miya's older siblings. Okay? I'll get to the even more maddening part in a minute.
In Owensboro. This marks the 7th arrest related to the case. We've learned the charges have to do with...
This is the maternal grandmother, Talitha, who has had custody of the older siblings. Now, look, I get it. It makes more sense when Child Protective Services put children with family members. But sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. These are some skanky people, and they all do bad things.
With outstanding warrants. 44 News spoke to a witness who saw the scene unfold on Wednesday.
Yeah, the kids seemed fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like I said, it was just unusual to see all the cops and everything.
Hang on. Does anybody in that family mow their grass?
Cops and everything going on. It's like, okay, what's happening in our neighborhood?
Now, the 3 siblings that the 2 grandparents were raising were placed in the state's care.
And we're continuing to monitor the Davis County Detention Center for...
Okay. The 3 siblings that Talitha and David, who are Tesla's parents, okay? There's Tesla. She's got to come up with $100,000 cash to get out. Look at this. Talitha was released from custody on June 14th. She's out. Okay? Talitha is out. She was released. It's an old warrant. I guess she scratched up some cash, got it paid, and she got out. Now look at this. Grandmother is released today. Miya's siblings will go back to her. Her warrant was an old warrant, and she has served the time. She's out, and she's got the children back. Now, a lot of people were arguing with this person, but within the post on Facebook, I was going back and forth with another person who picked her up from jail, met her back at the house for Child Protective Services to bring the siblings back. They were in state care. She gets out of jail, as you see, on the 14th, Talitha. And she got the kids back. Yep. This has happened, my friends. This has happened. I wouldn't let Talitha, David, Billy, Ricky, anyone in the damn Roach family, because I'm getting deep on them. They've got some charges coming. They're deep in this organized crime. Tesla, Cole, I wouldn't let them babysit one of OJ's white crusty turds. No. And you want to get even more mad? Your tax dollars are paying for this. Your tax dollars are putting food in Talitha's belly, David's belly, paying their utilities. Ridiculous. Give these children a chance.
Talitha and David Tucker's arrests. Talitha faces charges with a fugitive from another state. Her arrest warrant was out of Indiana. According to jail records, she is being held on no bond. David was arrested for a non-payment issue out of Davis County. And this has been the first major development.
Fugitive from justice in Indiana. So they picked her up on that warrant, Talitha. Good old David, he just didn't pay his court fines. So they scooped his ass up too. They're like, I'm going to put you all in jail. You're all going to get your bologna sandwich and your slice of orange. And you're going to tell us what you know about little baby Miya. But now Talitha's out and she's got the grandkids back. But of course, not baby Miya, because she was found under a ton of debris and paraphernalia in Ricky and Billy's house.
Out of Davis County. And this has been the first major development in days since we've been following Miya Rudd's reported disappearance.
Let's take a look at how the investigation has unfolded since last Thursday. Kentucky State Police were sent to a welfare check on the family's home in Ohio County. There, the parents caged Rudd and Tesla Tucker along with the grandfather, Ricky Smith.
I want to talk about the welfare check. Okay. Kentucky State Police issued a welfare check. This was not last Thursday, Thursday before. They believe Miya Rudd has not been seen since April. Yeah, that's going to be up for debate once the medical examiner gets done. Parents and grandfather were arrested. By Tuesday, additional drug arrests were made, along with the search with cadaver dogs. It is bad. For some reason, people are throwing some shade at Tesla's sister. She's the one that sounded the alarm. The sister of Tesla, who is one of those, she does the right thing. The sister initiated the welfare check. Now, we're going to get really in, we're going to do a deep dive. This woman, and I redacted her name because she gets enough heat. She said, I probably shouldn't say anything, but I see a GoFundMe account set up for burial of the 8-month-old baby Miya by a family member. I truly hope that everyone thinks before donating money to GoFundMe or the family directly. Donate directly to the funeral home. Yes, you can do that. This baby has been missing for a month or longer with no family ever reporting her missing. Do not donate to the family directly. Look how many family members have been arrested for being involved. My opinion, if you see the GoFundMe, report it. I know I am. This coming from a foster parent myself and know the system is broken. This baby should have never went home with the parents who did not have other children. I will agree with the last paragraph. However, the only person that sounded the alarm was the sister. And since she is the aunt of Miya, and since she is not in jail, she has to arrange a burial for her little niece. She doesn't even live in the state. She was doing her own investigative work. Where's Miya? Where's Miya? Where's Miya? Where's Miya? I don't know. The whole thing pisses me off. And yeah, she does have a GoFundMe. I'm not telling anyone to donate to it. I would like to know why people are hating on her so much. And she would have taken Miya and the kids in a heartbeat. But since Talitha stepped in and she said, I'm going to take the grandbabies. I live here in Kentucky. That way they can still see their parents, all of that stuff. She gets the kids. because Alexis lives in another state. So yeah, she's raised almost $7,000. And hopefully a funeral home will help her out because we know burials are not cheap. It's like, you find one person that's doing the right thing and everybody has to trample them.
Smith were arrested on drug charges. Then 2 additional drug arrests were made earlier this week following a search warrant. On Tuesday, KSP used cadaver dogs to expand their search across Ohio County.
And the parents and grandfather in the initial arrest will be back in court.
Look at Cole. There he is facing the judge. Now, unless they've changed it, they have to go back to court June 24th. But I am on the edge of my seat as to what the charges are going to be and who's going to get charged. You going to charge them all? You going to charge Tesla, Cole, Ricky, and Billy because they were all in the house? They have a lot of forensics to do on little Maya's body. Look at that thing. It's like I'm looking at the damn Manson family. It's like I'm looking at the damn Manson family. And why's he got a dent in his forehead? Look at that. And is that like a mole on his forehead? Or is that like one of those Dr. Pimple Popper cysts? He got a lot of stuff wrong with him. I mean, a lot. He been washing his hair in the toilet water at the jail.
In Davis County by the end of this month.
There's Ricky. Yep. Organized crime, child abuse, trafficking, you name it. There's Ricky.
On Wednesday, the father, Cage Rudd, and grandfather, Ricky Smith, appeared through video call.
There's Tesla, who I believe is the ring leader of it all. I believe she's the ring leader. I'm probably skipping around too much, but I will say this. When they were in the hospital and she gave birth to precious little Miya, they let them leave the hospital with Miya. Okay? I guess nobody stepped in to say, these two have lost custody of all of their other children. But they left. All right. The hospital contacts social services to say, little Miya, her umbilical cord tested positive for methamphetamine. Okay. Call me crazy. I don't care how straight and narrow you are. I don't believe any baby should be allowed to leave the hospital until all those tests are back. That is just my opinion. I don't care if you've never even had a drink of champagne on New Year's Eve. The baby does not leave the hospital until everything is done. Would any of you be offended if they said, we're waiting on these tests to come back? We just have to do it. I wouldn't. I just lay there in the bed, watch TV. Gotta be kidding me. But they didn't have the tests back. They left. Okay, so Tesla and Cole, once they realized they were looking for him because they were going to take Miya, they've been hopping around. And that's the reason they were hiding out at the Super 8 in Owensboro.
Call in court for their charges out of Davis County. The mother, Tesla Tucker, did not, and she's currently in the Ohio County Jail. On Wednesday, the judge moved all of their preliminary hearings up so they'll all have representation. The family is facing multiple other charges, including abandonment of a minor, criminal abuse of a minor, and engaging in organized crime out of Ohio County.
Organized crime, abandonment of a minor. Had the hospital social worker done her due diligence, or his, we wouldn't be here. Listen to their charges again. About had it with these freaks. Look at beautiful little baby Miya. Plead the Fifth said same here in Indiana. Also, plead the Fifth. Tesla's mother is a fugitive from justice from your state. They left the hospital, Cole, Tesla, and Miya, when CPS was trying to make contact with them to discuss the results from her umbilical cord. They started bouncing around. Fun fact is, it didn't take Kentucky State Police too long to find them, because they busted through the Super 8 in Owensboro, grabbed their asses, and locked them up. They had all kinds of police out there. It was busier than a Burger King bathroom. They were all over their asses. Fentanyl, meth, organized crime, abandonment of a minor, and someone's going down for murder.
Facing multiple other charges, including abandonment of a minor, criminal abuse of a minor, and engaging in organized crime out of Ohio County. Their next court date is set for June 19th. The time.
They said the 19th. I understand it's been moved to the 24th. Now, we know over the last few years, I am not getting political, not saying, how people should vote or believe, but I'm getting really damn tired of these lumpy-assed social workers thinking they're the police. The police need to take care of these things, and then the social workers follow up. They have way too much latitude in the last 10, 12 years. We've seen it in too many cases. Waiting on CBS, waiting on CPS, waiting on DHS. They're not law enforcement. Let law enforcement do it. All right, so you voted. You said mad, then sad. This is horrific. I mean, this is horrific.
First tonight, we take a look at how Kentucky State Police were able to uncover Miya after an extensive search all this week. 44 News reporter Aaliyah Malero was on scene all day today, and she breaks down the latest in their investigation.
This investigation that started as search and recovery has now shifted to a death investigation in the case of 8-month-old Miya Rudd. At around 1:15 p.m., investigators discovered the decomposed body of Miya Rudd inside the home under a pile of debris. According to KSP, they say the body was concealed in a way that was difficult to find. Kentucky State Police say although it's not the outcome they...
Look at the junk out there. Billy and Ricky, who are Cole's parents, I guess, their housekeeping makes Candace Wells look clean. They said that the inside of the house was a health hazard. Look at this. Now then, I don't want to get grim. I don't want to get gross. But let me tell you, when living things die, they smell. Okay? They're actually a biohazard. They were living in the house with her body decaying all this time. Now explain that to me. You know your daughter's over there in that pile decaying? You know your granddaughter? How could these people do this?
Kentucky State Police say although it's not the outcome they wanted, they knew this was a high possibility.
It's not the results we wanted, but we kind of anticipated this. Hence the reason why we had cadaver dogs. We're processing and sifting through debris out in the field. It really shows that was the most likely end result, and lo and behold, it was.
Miya Rudd was last seen in April, and after a tip received by KSP, they launched a full investigation into the missing baby. Currently, over 8 people were arrested and connected.
Yep. There's the motley crew right there. I haven't even talked about Brody yet. And again, the sister of Tesla, daughter of Talitha, is the one that sounded all the alarms. We haven't even heard little baby Miya laugh, cry in the background. We know what it's like when you call somebody and they've got a baby. They're whiny, they're crying, they've got to be fed. So she knew something wasn't right. She knew something was not right. And the fact that Talitha got out of jail on Friday and has the older siblings back, that's going to have to be rectified. Look at these pieces of shit. Okay, Brody, he's the one, bottom row, all the way to the right. Boy, you're going to love this. He was arrested May 21st. He had packages with meth and fentanyl pills. They were intercepted in Daviess County. He was trafficking the F out of these. Well, this is during the time, obviously, that Miya was laying in the debris in the trap house. Who takes to social media to be his white knight? None other than Tesla Tucker. She gets right on the sheriff's office page, May 21st, and says, "Screaming free. Till I see you, Brody Payne. We love you. Forever, my MF brother." Of course, people are laughing at her. Then she says, "Bet it wouldn't be too funny if it was one of your loved ones now, would it? Laugh it up." Loved ones? He's peddling meth and fentanyl around Daviess County. Nasty bastards.
To the case, including the parents, both sets of grandparents, and 3 others. Now there are multiple drug charges associated with the case, as KSP says the family had pounds of meth and fentanyl within the home and in Daviess County. Now currently investigators begin the process of gathering evidence and building a case for what has turned into a death investigation. The baby's body was taken to the Ohio County Coroner's Office, but she will be transported to the Kentucky Medical Examiner's Office either today or tomorrow. Reporting in Ohio County, Aaliyah Malero, 44 News.
Got to be kidding me. Not ounces, not milligrams, pounds. Miss Tracy said, "How about that child laying deceased in your home, B?" That's what I'm talking about. Pounds. And they are all connected. This is more on Brody. Brody is big in this ring of scum. Big in this ring of scum.
We begin tonight with yet another arrest connected to the search for the missing Ohio County baby.
Real quick, not to get off subject, but this Jessica Costello, love her hair, but that dress is super cute. If I lost 20 pounds, I would have that dress. That dress is adorable.
Now, this is the 8th arrest Kentucky State Police have made while searching for 8-month-old Miya Rudd. Troopers say 28-year-old Brody Payne of Reynolds Station was using USPS to support his drug trafficking operation.
You know how much trouble Brody's in between the pounds of fentanyl, meth, and everything else he had. I understand he had some Oxycontin as well. He was using the mail. Hell, you can barely mail someone coffee. They have dogs that sniff the mail all the time.
Operation. Authorities say Payne had been residing at the Rudd household for about 6 months. Troopers say he had suspected fentanyl-laced pills and about a half pound of meth.
Maybe.
Okay, so I don't know how this works, but Brody, who Tesla was screaming from the rooftops to let him out of jail during the time of Miya's disappearance, so-called, because she was right there in the house the whole time, decaying. They were lacing pills with fent and mailing them. Yep. So pissed at these people.
Maya's parents, Tesla Tucker and Cage Rudd, were also arrested last week. They face several charges, including child abuse and abandonment of a minor. Ricky Smith, the baby's grandfather, was also arrested for a long list of charges, including child abuse.
And while searching for the missing baby, troopers say they went to Billy Smith's home, who is the grandmother. Miya was not found, but Smith had an unrelated warrant and was taken into custody. Troopers say Timothy Roach was also at the home and threw unprescribed Suboxone under his vehicle. Roach was also arrested.
And during a search at a home in Davis County yesterday, maternal grandparents Talitha Tucker and David Tucker of Owensboro were arrested on unrelated warrants. KSB seized electronics, but maybe Miya was not found. Police say Miya's parents have not been cooperative.
Nope. None of them are being cooperative. None of them. All 8 of them. All 8 of them. Well, let's get into a little bit about the investigation and how it unfolded. We know where we're at now. Now, it did not shock me at all when they said they were going to have to bring the FBI in on this. And it's not for mail fraud, my friends. We know that these pills laced with the fent have gone across a few state lines. This is going to get deeper and deeper and deeper, and I am impatiently waiting for arrests from the Roach family because they are neck deep in this too. Just imagine KSP they get a well check visit. All right, we'll go see if the baby's okay. And then they open all of this up.
T-R-O-O-P-E-R, Corey, C-O-R-E-Y, King, K-I-N-G. So mic check's doing okay? Mm-hmm. Good. All right. Okay. So this is truly a case on how illicit street drugs can and will destroy lives and cause the erosion of our community. I think it's fair to say that in order for us to describe what we are doing and conducting today, we need to backtrack a little bit into how this all began. So this particular family that we are investigating, this goes back some years ago, actually. If you're looking through the records with the Department of Community-Based Services, they had previously removed 3 older children, the siblings to.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. And I love how he phrased that. The erosion of our society. Good morning, Dee's Mystery. I'll tell you what, Snow is salivating right now, looking at the trooper on the screen. They previously lost 3 children. Okay, that is Tesla and Cole. But remember, Talitha got out of jail on Friday, and Talitha has the children back. Gotta be kidding me. Britt said he has nice shoulders. Ooh. Where's Snow? Paging Snow. Where is Snow? Snow's holding out for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to break up.
To Miya. They removed all 3 based on the conditions of the house. No surprise that drugs is in the forefront of the removal. Those children are safe. They're at a location with family, and they're, to my knowledge, doing well. So Miya was born in October of last year, and social services, shortly after the birth, was looking to as well remove this child. They had no contact with the child or the family, and a family member around the end of April or so noticed they have not seen this, at the time, 6-month-old child. Several months later, our agency was notified by a family member of this, of the Rudd family, and reported that they had not seen this now 8-month-old child since the end of April, 1st of May. Our agency responded. We looked. We were working closely with community-based services. We did locate both parents at Motel 6 on Gates Drive in Owensboro.
Okay, now it's Motel 6. I thought it was the Super 8 in Owensboro. I certainly don't want anyone to not stay at the Super 8 thinking it's a bad place. He said Motel 6. Okay. How these children were given back to Talitha, I will never understand. Tesla Tucker doesn't have a snowball's chance in Honduras of getting out of jail because she needs $100,000 cash to get out. So when they roll up to the no-tell motel, leave the light on, if you know what I mean. Remember, pounds of fent, met, the whole smorgasbord. I am furious that Talitha has those children back because she's part of the problem. She's part of the problem. You know, a lot of states, and I don't know what you guys think about this, they're trying to skirt away from familial custody or adoptions. Now, you know, they always say it's better that they go with a family member. But the person that raised the problem shouldn't be the one to take care of the kids. That is just my opinion. And the hospital failed. You don't let these 2 crackheads roll out with the baby when you haven't even gotten the tests back from the umbilical cord. You know what they said it was? A billing issue, because Medicaid wouldn't let her stay any longer and they had no right to keep the baby without the test results. Do what? Medicaid wouldn't pay any longer for Tesla to lay there in the bed while they were waiting to get the results back for the umbilical cord. So it's like, yep, we got to roll the dice because money means more than kids, right? Money means more than kids. So go ahead, and if it comes back, baby tests positive, then we'll go find you then. But here we are. That's freaking disgusting.
When we located the two parents, no child was discovered. However, a multitude of really heavy street drugs, including fentanyl or possible fentanyl, hasn't quite been tested yet, and suspected crystal methamphetamine was located at the hotel. No child was discovered. That led us to the residence you see behind me, where another search warrant was conducted and more illicit street drugs were discovered in this residence. No child was discovered. So that investigation prompted, at this point, the missing persons. The parents have not been cooperative in this investigation as to the whereabouts of their child. So we launched, and what led us to this point, further search warrants, which led into more arrests, all related to drugs, not the child. So today we're utilizing cadaver dogs at this location where we stand. This is 41 Hardin Lane. It's a church, and by looking at the maps, you will see a cemetery in behind this church. The cemetery, as well as the heavy wooded area with some ditches. There's a variety of debris that we are seeing in these ditches. These cadaver dogs will be looking in that debris, as well as looking for any type of signs of disturbed earth. And particularly with these canines, they are really good at detecting an odor called cadaverine, which is emitted from decaying flesh. Those dogs will assist us in that. Hopefully.
Debris. And to be quite honest, considering it went through the Medicaid system, however they do it at that hospital, who knows how long it was backed up? I don't know. Somebody dropped the ball. And I know a lot of people who have Medicaid, state insurance, whatever you want to call it, have been saying, I'm just not getting the care I used to get. And I don't care what insurance anyone has, but your health care, your health is very important. Well, let's think about it. You have a pie. Normally you get like what? 8 pieces out of a pie? Okay. Well, imagine if you've got one pie for 100 people. You only get a little bitty bite. And I think we know what's been going on the last few years with people coming across the border that are getting free health insurance. The pie is teeny tiny now. It's teeny tiny.
Hopefully, we're very hopeful and optimistic that we would find her alive. Maybe perhaps a family member has her, but the longer this goes on, the more grim it seems. If this child is buried or deceased on this property, this team of cadaver dogs should be able to source where this child is at, and that's when we can do a recovery at that point. If this does not, if this fails and we do not find Miya here, later this week, we're bringing in some specialized equipment from the medical examiner's office, and we're going to do a very thorough search utilizing this technology, as well as a team of canines to go further to where, at this point, where we believe she very well could be.
I know, obviously, there's the grandparents and the parents that are involved, but in terms of that you've conducted interviews and certain things like that, maybe even found some evidence in terms of what's kind of going on. Can you just, because I was in the courtroom yesterday with 3 of them, and there was no remorse on their face, if I'm being quite honest, in terms of, the drugs that you were talking about. Have you ever seen anything like this while you've been on the force in terms of a child going missing? 3 were all, already were with child services or with family. Can you kind of just tell me a bit about that too?
Well, that's a good question. And I think, yes, I have. And I think really this goes to the power of addiction. It's no surprise that we're talking about methamphetamine, fentanyls, cocaine, heroin, all these heavy drugs, the underlying component to addiction.
Are y'all hearing that? Did y'all hear the rugs that are involved? The rugs? And this social worker shit needs to stop. A baby tests positive for drugs out of the womb. There better be a police officer in that hospital room to arrest the mama. She gonna get a new hospital room. It's called a jail cell. Then let the social worker do what she needs to do. Or he has to do. You get back a positive test on a baby. Bring in the popo. Arrest mama. Put her in the pokey. There's a girl. She's actually from Oklahoma. Had a baby in California. Tested positive for drugs. Okay. She has to stay in California, I think for 5 years. Because if she comes back to Oklahoma, since she got pregnant with the baby in Oklahoma, she'll be charged and jailed with a felony. But the statute of limitations is like 5-6 years. So she's got to hang out in California. Like they need more weirdos out there. No offense, mermaid, you're my favorite. To get past the statute of limitations. Absolutely crazy. You don't receive your child when you've done that. And by the way, the baby that she gave birth to is going to have lifelong issues.
A lot of times is selfishness. And when you are overtaken by a powerful addiction such as this, that is your priority. And you see that right now. And that is scary. Hence the reason why we have social services doing their job in removing some of these children. I would argue that anyone who is so addicted to such a powerful drug like this, if you as a parent would rather reach for a Tudor pipe and not a pacifier or bottle or play with your children, you probably don't need to bringing children into this world. It's sad, but that's the reality. And we do see this. It seems to us, at least through the investigative sense, that none of the participants involved in this are helpful at all to this missing 8-month-old, which as an investigator, that would tell you they know the answer perhaps. And that's what we're trying to find. Sadly, the spirit of our investigators today, we have been very hopeful and optimistic, but the longer this goes on, the more grim the outcome is likely. And I think with the power of addiction and methamphetamine, that really says a lot about what this does to our community as well as the families. I'm hopeful. No, go ahead, sir.
I was going to ask, what was the engaging organized crime charges about?
The amount of trafficking, we did learn that through the second component of the search. So that will be the residence in behind me, the amount of drugs, and that was methamphetamine, marijuana, I believe some of the fentanyls that we found, that all comes into the engaging in organized crime, because there is a cell component to this. And going back to your question with the amount of drugs that we're talking about and how this plays a role in family life, every aspect of interviewing and investigating, merely looking for the safety of this child.
Look, there's no family life. There's no Santa Claus. There's no Easter Bunny. When you got Brody living in the house, lacing pills with Fent. Paper Slut said, at Crime Lines and Lies, have you figured out how the cops knew it wasn't any further than a mile radius? I keep thinking maybe ankle monitors for probation or something. I believe it was the dogs. They were sifting through dirt and everything, paper slut. And that was what I read in one of the articles. Using the cadaver dogs, they realized that it was about a mile radius.
Has netted an arrest, a drug arrest, that really all we're trying to do is get the answers to where the whereabouts of this child. But sadly, everybody in this that's involved in this, when we go to talk to them, we find drugs and they go to jail. And that's where we stand. And, you know, I think really hopefully we will find the answers really soon, but we're not overly getting a whole lot of information from where the source really needs to come from. And that's where we're relying on technology. We're relying on forensic interviews through non-family members, as well as what tangible evidence we have recovered so far. And that's what led us to this location and utilizing the cadaver dogs to see if some of these tips are true and what tangible evidence is pointing us in what direction we have. We have been getting a whole lot of tips, which is really necessary in a case like this. You'll notice that I've really put out a whole lot of updates, news releases, which may not seem like a lot to the casual reader. However, it is keeping it in the forefront like it should be, because someone knows, someone has information.
Well, and as you can see, now I think Kentucky State Police kept the community very well informed, and I don't live there. I think they stayed on top of it and they let everyone know this is what's going on. They had great transparency. We're locking them all up. We got Tesla, we got Cole, we got Ricky, we got Billy, we got Timothy Roach, we got Talitha, we got David. Oh, and looks like Brody's been living there. We're tying all this together. And so when people said, why don't they tell us more? I think everybody was very well informed. In my opinion, what do you guys think? Because I think law enforcement did great. And they have so much work to do. They're going to bring in Homeland Security. You know why? Because they got to figure out where the fent came from. You can't exactly make that in your kitchen in Kentucky. Gotta be kidding me.
On the whereabouts of this child, or at least knows what has happened to this child. That's what we need to know. And that's the only way that we as investigators, the community at large, and the family can get closure.
So were there tips that led you to search this area?
There was enough information through forensic interviewing, as well as what tangible evidence we have recovered from the scene, that suggests we need to concentrate and focus right here in this area. Now, it doesn't mean that we will net the result that we want or need, but it does mark another tip, another theory off what we believe is the right area.
You mentioned later this week another possible search. Is that here in the same area or a different place?
That's our plan. It's going to be nearby this location. We have no information suggesting that it broadens out well beyond the area of this community.
Do you know how many tips y'all have gotten in so far?
I do not know the amount. I do know it's quite substantial, which again, kudos to all those who have taken time out of their day to let us know what they have seen. Some of the tips quickly we can debunk, and some we really have to follow up.
And I'm sure some of the tips they got were nuts. Okay, people with their tarot cards, and I am not picking on anyone that has a gift like that. People that had visions of Miya. Again, I'm not picking on anyone like that. People like Lisa K. Ruitz that feels like, she can be part of the investigation or somehow knows the family. He's like, yeah, we can debunk those really quick. We want to know people who know people. They want to know these fools. My goodness. They make me damn sick.
Largely, some of these arrests that we have made were based on tips that led us to certain areas, and that's where we have found people trafficking Suboxone, methamphetamine, possible fentanyls. either way, that does.
Okay, I'm pausing again because I'm very uneducated, and my production manager, Ronnie, did not set the show up properly for me. I thought Suboxone was used to get people off of drugs. So why are they trafficking Suboxone? I'll have to ask Ronnie. Because, by the way, we are going to showcase the shirt tomorrow, $37.99. That's not the price of the shirt. If you know, you know. $37.99 F and Ronnie. You guys will see that on the show tomorrow. I thought Suboxone was to get you off drugs. So why are they trafficking it? I don't know. Oh, several people in here said, no, you can still get high off it. Bayou said it is used to get off drugs and maintain your sobriety. Kimberly Mann said they still get high off of it. Okay, so that's why Dum Dum, Timothy Roach, age 37, was sitting in the car when the Popo showed up. Instead of just minding his own business and going on his merry way, he throws out the bottle and says, not mine. Well, it wasn't yours and you shouldn't have had it. You don't have other people's prescriptions.
Net arrests, but at the end of the day, we still don't have our hands on this 8-month-old baby.
Is this the first time y'all brought cadaver dogs here today?
No, this is not. This is actually the second time we have brought in a team. We actually had multiple teams of cadaver dogs. They searched the property in behind me. That was enough to say, yes, it's worth going to neighboring areas based on the handlers' reactions to what the dogs were indicating to them. So that's where it led us to this area where we have one team of cadaver dogs working it off to my right, and they're working the cemetery as well as the neighboring woods. So they're working today in that area. Hopefully the handlers will be able to get some information, a better read off that. It was best described to me from a canine handler how these dogs operate. The best analogy that was explained to me is that you can pop popcorn in your kitchen, remove the whole bag of popcorn and microwave, take it out of the house. You know, when you walk into that house, you smell popcorn. It's there, but you don't know exactly where it's popped. With these canines' capability, they can come in and tell you exactly based on the strength of that smell where that's at. Now, these canines, that's what they will be utilizing is essentially just that.
Yeah, the dogs don't lie. They have no bias. It's nothing personal for the dogs. They know exactly what they're doing. That's actually a really good analogy that he used. Now, I understand Don Wells says the dogs lie. We know Chris Proudfeets, he said the dogs aren't accurate. Well, then tell me how come in all of these trials we've watched over the years, you've had dog handlers on the stand explaining this is how the dog was trained, this is where the dog went. We had several different certified canines. I trust the dogs more than I trust Tesla, Cole, Ricky, Billy, Timothy, Talitha, David, and Brody.
They will come, they will smell those gases from any type of possible decay, the cadaverine and several other type of gases that are emitted. We can smell it in the air, perhaps. We don't hear for the record, but if we were to smell it in the air, we may not be able to tell exactly where it's coming from, but these canines will. They will take you to the strong source, and that's what we need. So based on the day, that's why during this time of day, based on thermals, daytime or morning through day, you have upward thermals. Evening times, you have downward thermals. That plays a role in how these canines will operate, and this will give us a sense if that cadaverine or any other type of odor is in the air. It will take us at least to that general area where we need to concentrate and focus on our search.
Do you know why she was still in the home if the other children had been removed?
It was my understanding that this child, after birth, the umbilical cord tested positive for methamphetamine. That was the.
Okay, this is very, very important. Actually, two important things. One, True Love has pause, gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. And also, so did our friend Kimberly Mann. You guys, thank you for growing this community and keeping its head above water. You have no idea. Love getting out the umbrellas. You guys are amazing. And this officer, the way he's explaining things to people, he's not talking in legal terms or using legalese or, dumbing us down with the law. He's just giving it straight facts. Straight facts. Now, this part is very, very important. And this part burns my britches.
Search.
Do you know why she was still in the home if the other children had been removed?
It was my understanding that this child, after birth, the umbilical cord tested positive for methamphetamine. That was the reason for the removal. The parents, as well as the child, they removed. The parents left, were basically moving around, keeping from being captured.
Okay, so again, because Medicaid wasn't going to pay for extra time for Tesla to lay in the bed at the hospital, they didn't have the results back from the umbilical cord. Well, lo and behold, it comes back. Positive for meth. So Tesla and Cole, they know they're in deep doo-doo. They start bouncing around. Well, it didn't take Kentucky State Police too long to find them. No baby should be allowed to leave the hospital. I don't give a damn about what Medicaid says. Sick of this insurance bullshit. Until they have all the testing back.
This went on for some time. I'm not sure exactly when the tests come back on the positive umbilical cord, but obviously it was shortly after the birth. And at that point, social services was not able to make contact with the family. They were unable to find them. My guess is perhaps the rest of the family was not overly helpful to locating the family as well as the child. That's when our agency come involved, was when it was actually reported to us through a family member. And at that point, that was around the end, I think it was May 30th, perhaps, when our agency got involved. We did quickly locate the family at a motel. And that's where, as mentioned earlier, we found the amount of drugs. The rest are occurring based on these investigations, but it's all drug related and has, at this point, nothing essentially with the missing child.
Because from what Tesla had said as well, is that Miya was technically in the custody of Billy. I'm guessing it's her mother. So in terms, I guess they were all moving around, but also Billy technically did have custody. Is that correct? Or
I don't have that source with me. It was my understanding perhaps it's the other grandmother. Right. It's a family member, but I don't think it was Billy Smith that.
No, Billy didn't have custody of Miya. Actually, Tesla had custody of Miya the whole time. Talitha had custody of the other 3 children. Okay, when contact was made to Tesla asking, where's Miya? She lied and said social services took her. So that sort of calmed things down for a while. But her sister was smart enough to know, well, if they took Miya, Miya would be with Talitha. I need a whiteboard for all these people. I really do. So it's lie after lie after lie. And we know why. It's because little baby Miya was dead in all that debris in the house. And these people hating on the sister and the GoFundMe, is she supposed to pay out of pocket to bury her niece? If people want to chip in $1 or $2, go for it. It's your money. She's the only one that did the right thing, in my opinion.
Has or had custody of these children. But I'm not 100% with that. I think social services should have that. Maybe perhaps our lead investigator will have that, but I don't have the answer to that. But either way, that those children were removed, taken to a safe location. And that was the intent with this baby, is to go with the siblings to those safer location. And they were never located.
So was the criminal abuse based on finding the meth in your bill report or based on the other kids?
I'm not sure of the reason for the child abuse. If it was based on the testing positive of meth, it very well could be. That's a good question too. But I think also the conditions that this baby was living in, it would be very, very easy with how unsanitary this condition is, not only with the amount of debris in the house, but also you got to keep in mind fentanyl, which is very transdermal, can absorb in the skin by touch. And by having it out on the open tables, it wouldn't take much for an infant to touch something, absorb into the skin, and unfortunately die. Because we're talking
toxicology on little baby Miya is going to be really interesting, because since Brody, let me give you a reminder of Brody. That's Brody. He was arrested May 21st. Packages with meth and fentanyl pills intercepted in Davis County. Considering he was cutting up the fent and lacing pills, like the officer said, it's very transdermal. I mean, once it's in the air. Now imagine a little 6-pound baby ingesting that powder in the air and everything else they had going on. Either way, I'm really hoping for murder 1. I understand they have to prove intent, but I do have faith.
Fentanyls, depending on what fentanyls it is, my guess, it is not acrofentanyl or carfentanyl. It is somewhere around 100 times more potent than morphine alone. So it will not take much at all to absorb into a baby's skin and result in its death. Not saying that's what happened, but the conditions alone would warrant a child abuse charge.
Woo! Woo! There's a lot going on. Now, I do not know how they do their court cases in Kentucky. I'm going to get with Diva today and ask her, because I really want to see all the scumbags June 24th when they have to go in front of the judge. I do not know how long it's going to take for the medical examiner to figure out manner of death, cause of death, toxicology, all that stuff. But we're going to continue following this, because this family needs to go down. And no child should ever, ever, ever be in their care. Because like right now, Billy, she's got a $25,000 bond. Billy has access to money. I can't believe she's still in jail. Talitha's out. And the woman that picked her up from jail told me she was getting the kids back. This is ridiculous. So you guys take a vote. Do you want to continue following this case, discussing this case? Because I'm all in. I am neck deep in this because I just cannot believe that all of these people committed all of these crimes. And in the midst of it, isn't this how it always goes? There's children involved. You can keep up with your drugs, but you can't keep up with your babies. Go figure. Well, again, thank you so much for being here for little baby Miya. Like I said earlier in the show, at the beginning of the show, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in other cases, but you guys are always here for the right reasons. And hey, this is not an easy case to talk about, but thanks for keeping it light, keeping it cool. Had a few laughs and chat. All of that was basically at Paper Slut's expense, but that's okay. He's a tough dude. All right, you guys, if I don't see you in Discord or one of the Facebook groups or however we chat, then I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We have a lot of stuff going on this week. Thank you, Mod Squad. I know we've had some crazy stuff going on lately, but you guys always keep the room chill. All right, love you guys to pieces. You're the absolute best.